14 races down and 15 races of 15 about to kick off. Noah Belleville, now your Season 12 Thursday Night Thunder champion. Let's just start with that. Let's start with a big, fat congratulations to Car 41. No more pressure. It's over. There's not enough cars to overturn the points. Belleville is your champion, and he will kick off the final race of the season with both hands clasped around that trophy. He is a two-time Thursday Night Thunder champion. If only his internet would hold out for a whole race. Let's see what he can put together. The final race of the 12th campaign is about to kick off. Noah Belleville and Aiden Norman on the front row one more time in Season 12. The green flag is out. Let's go racing. And immediately your champion decides he no longer cares. No, Belleville's down to third. Chuck Sweeting, his championship rival, on his outside. And Briley Wright, welcome back to TNT. He did come back last week, but check this out. That gorgeous Dale Earnhardt number 3. Now, this one, someone has to correct me on. I think this is the paint scheme that Dale drove in the Winston in 1990-something, obviously, because it was on a Monte Carlo, but I couldn't. It's either 97 or 98. Someone knows better than me. Someone can tell me. We've got 125 laps to figure this out. Aiden Norman, 7 times a winner this season, and due to a part-time schedule, the championship is out of reach for him, but he comes into this race 534 points to himself and only 6 behind Chuck Sweeting. He can still take second and get an 8th victory tonight. Briley Wright, on the other hand, lost places, but it's about pride for him. And already, he's putting in a run to be proud of. Briley still comes into this race, still top 10 in points, and still something to fight for. He finds himself 9th, only 3 points ahead of Tommy Withers, who's not in this race, but still trying to get as close as possible to Toby Estes, his neighbor and his rival in the number 8 Estes Lawn Care Chevrolet. Toby to the inside of Kevin Feemster. That's for the 5th position, but Kevin's not going away anytime soon. Kevin with a couple of rowdy touches to his number 17 and the Van Buren pilot. A great way to honor a great loss. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Marsh Mauto, by the way. When's the last time we saw from Marsh? Our season... Gosh, what season did Marsh... Marsh, if you're still here, what I'm trying to think our TNT champions. It was Tom Sears. Was it Season 2? On Xbox? We got TNT Royalty. When's the last time anyone talked to... Man, that's great to hear from you. Brent Roberts, by the way, in the 84. He's to the inside of Dale Markowski. This is for the 8th position while I'm trying to reminisce and figure out who won what and did where. There's battles all over the racetrack. Let's look at Kevin Feemster in the 17 car. He sits just a 10th ahead of Toby Estes. Literally going through the front bumper of the 8 car. Says thanks for the shout out. Yeah, always a shout out for any Thursday Night Thunder champion. It's been quite a while, and what a night to come back on. Our Season 2 champion, watching Noah Belleville become a two-time champion. He sits behind Aiden Norman. Half a second is that gap. Briley Wright runs in third in the number 3 Goodwrench Chevrolet, trying to get just a bit closer to our Season 9 and Season 12 winner. If you just tuned in, you haven't missed a thing. Caution-free 9 of the scheduled 125 laps into this race. Looking at our top 3 right now, Aiden Norman finds himself half a second ahead of Noah Belleville. Marsh saying, I've raced Noah a ton back in the day. Talking about when we were racing on Xbox, this is before the iRacing era. So seasons 1 through 3. Tom Sears, season 1, season 3 champion. Marsh Maudo, our season 2 champion. And then from season 4 onwards, we've been in iRacing. So for the last, 4.5 years, 8 seasons. Speaking of our seasons 1 and 3 champion, he finds himself in the 10th position right now, trying to get around Dale Markowski and Jason Alexander. That's 9th and 8th. Just ahead of the number 18. And the Southampton, Massachusetts native chasing Dale Markowski for the 9th position. The Ohio driver finds himself behind Jason Alexander, the Salem, South Carolinian in car 53. Let's catch a ride with Dale. Drivers finding themselves with a tire wear challenge. These tires looking to be shredded by the end of their run. Now they're expected to go, 40 to 50 laps on a fuel run. We'll see just how far they make it. But we'll see if the tires go that far. Because obviously, how far they're going to get. And on top of all of this, everybody chasing down the 3-time Thursday Night Thunder champion, Aiden Norman, the number 62 Good Day Soju Chevrolet. 6/10 ahead of Noah Belleville, and the 41 just can't run away from car number 3. And he sits ahead of the 57, now a Thursday Night Thunder winner, Chuck Sweeting, the Hawthorne Floridian, taking his time behind Briley. One thing we've learned about Chuck this season, and that he is consistent. He is smooth. It hasn't been an explosion of, Chuck Sweeting is a top 3 driver. Chuck Sweeting's podiums have been consistent in the second half of this season. If you look at the points, the Chuckster himself has an average finish of 6th. However, he's won in the last several weeks. He's finished 2nd. He's finished 3rd a couple of times in the last few races as well. The average finish just consistently has been climbing, and he's been getting better exponentially. So I guess if you look at his progression, it is just a steep incline up to this point, and now Chuck has been top 3. Top 3 is the expectation now for that 57 camp. And come season 13, when we start late August, you better believe he's going to be a championship contender. Marsh, if you want to join in TNT again soon, the door is always open. We're going to have our off-season tests here in a few weeks. So there is a Discord. Go ahead and we'll get in touch. We'll set you up with our off-season test. We'll talk about it. We'll get it all taken care of. Don't you worry. Imagine that being season 13. Aiden Norman, if he's still around in Season 13, will still have the most championships with 13. Most wins in Thursday Night Thunder will go to Noah Belleville. Well, actually, after this season, I don't know. We're going to have to run the numbers. I think with Aiden winning 7 races this season, he may have overtaken most all-time wins in Thursday Night Thunder, but he certainly does have most championships with 3. After today, Noah Belleville now has 2. And of course, going into Season 13, assuming Noah Belleville goes into Season 13, if he can tie Aiden Norman on championships, by the end of Season 13, not only will he be level with Aiden Norman on championships, but he has the ability to be better in wins as well. Naturally, you would look at him as the best driver in Thursday Night Thunder history. But we're talking from here to Christmas, right? That's a lot of ifs, that's a lot of variables, but why not? It's not impossible, is it? He's special. He is a special, special driver. And it doesn't come without competition. It doesn't come with, oh, he just skated to this championship. Absolutely not. Drivers like Chuck Sweeting, drivers like Aiden Norman have forced this level of progression in Car 41. Without Sweeting, without Norman, Noah Belleville has, and it'd be rude to say he doesn't have competition because that's just simply not true. But it's just Norman and Sweeting have elevated their game to where Noah Belleville is this season, apparently. Now, in Season 13, there may be a formula change. There's a lot of talk, a lot of discussion about this car, this 2003 Gen 4 format. If this car is to continue, will we run the same tracks? Will we run the same sort of setups? Because this season, this car has been frustrating for these drivers. Let's catch a ride with Toby Estes. Toby Estes in the number 8 Estes Lawn Care Chevrolet. He's got Chuck Sweeting just behind him. That's 4/10 the difference between them. And Bren Roberts, 2/10 and counting. Part-time TNT driver, multiple-time TNT winner. I think he actually won at Atlanta this season. And he's only 2/10 behind the Chuckster, who's running in 5th. Further behind, Kevin Feemster, Jason Alexander, Tom Sears. Trading paint, swapping positions. You're looking at 7th, 8th, and 9th. Let's go on board with Sears. Big slide off turn number 2 for Jason Alexander, or maybe just an intentional trying to break the draft. The 17 car, Kevin Feemster. Trying to stay behind him. Half a second is the difference. Susan Rice in the house says she's rooting on Noah Belleville. Let's get it done tonight. And one more win for Noah Belleville would really top off that championship cake. But the 41 car has fallen off drastically. And with internet issues as well, He continues to blink. Aiden Norman in car 62 finds himself 2 3/4 seconds ahead of Noah Belleville, and Briley Wright is 2 seconds behind the Missouri driver. Toby Estes, 4/10 the difference between him and the Bass Pro Goodwrench Chevy up front. Briley's in the wall, and here comes Toby. Both drivers from Greensburg, Kentucky. You could throw a rock from one of their houses to another. Briley in third, Toby in fourth. And I think they're actually 8th and 9th in points, if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, Toby is 8th, Briley's 9th in points. And I think they're too far apart for them to make a difference, but that's all the more reason that you want to beat the guy next to you on the track, especially if the points don't matter. If, let's say, you know, the championship has been decided, or if these two drivers aren't going to swap positions in the points no matter what, even on the final day, then of course you have to put all your energy into beating that guy, because it's all you have left. And Briley really wants to get one over on Toby. This time around, Toby's going to send it in really deep in turn number 1. He scoots up into the 3-car, who now grinds against the wall. Toby Estes to third. Bren Roberts now wants a piece of the gold number 3. And Bren's coming into the pits. Have the tires given up on car 84? We'll see. And Briley just trying to hold on to the back end of car number 8. Briley in the wall again, and Toby continues to sail away. Briley gets turned by the 57 of Chuck Sweeting. 3 cars in the wall. He comes to a halt. Hopefully nobody hits him. He's stopped on the racetrack, and caution is going to come out for the 3-car just parked fantastically. Nobody hit Briley. Caution will come out before he goes a lap down. He might just get the race car repaired, but he came off turn number 2, and you can see the damage on the front of the Chuckster. Car 57 has a huge dent. Let's go on board with Briley. He hits the wall. Nowhere for Chucky to go. And watch this. Nobody hits him. Then the caution comes out. So Chuck's got damage. Briley's got damage. They'll try and get it fixed. Aiden Norman, Noah Belleville, Toby, everybody. Everybody's coming down into the pits. No question. They get 4 tire changes. And presumably they're going to want to use every single one. So they'll get fuel, they'll get tires. We're going to take... Actually, you know what? We don't need to take a break. We're going to stay put. Don't go anywhere. It's time for a zesty drink. How about a Coke? You grab yourself a drink. I'll be back, let's say 60 seconds. We'll stay right here, and we'll race some more. right, let's get back to it. Noah Belleville finds himself in the first position, winning the race off pit road. Susan Rice rooting for Noah Belleville as well, and what a night it will be for Noah once it's all said and done. But again, now that that's been decided, the win is what matters. Noah's going to start to the inside of Aiden Norman, where they started this race 35 laps ago. And we were right on the cusp of green flag pit stops as well. We got a bunch of drivers that might not make this here. Bren Roberts now racing out of turn number 2. Briley Wright still has damage on the front of the 3. Jason Alexander is in 8th at the tail end of all of these drivers. Here comes Briley, then Bren. Chuck Sweeting still in the pits getting the race car repaired, and Noah Belleville about to take the green. Let's see how this one pans out. Aiden Norman and Noah Belleville on the front row. Green flag is out again. Looked like Feem spun the tires. Will have another look. Belleville gets out to an early lead. Norman behind him. Toby Estes sits in 3rd with the 18 of Tom Sears behind him. One car around at the back, and it's Bren Roberts. Let's see what happened to the 84. The Hagerstown, Maryland pilot loose by himself. One car does not constitute a caution in TNT, and luckily Bren just gives a bit of a love tap to the back wall. He's going to be okay. Noah Belleville leads by less than 2/10 out of turn number 4. Here comes Aiden Norman. Race for the lead out of turn number 4. Aiden Norman to the inside of Noah Belleville. They will drag race down the front straight while Belleville blinks his way into turn number 1. Norman edges the 41 into the corner. Belleville reappears. And now Toby Estes might take second as well. Shout out Sarah at home. Feel better. And this battle is really getting intense. .41 continues to blink, and if the blinking gets bad enough, the 41 will be sent to the pits. iRacing did implement that mechanic this year. Was it this year or last year? Somebody who knows iRacing better than me, tell me. But if you blink too much, if the internet connection is too poor, iRacing will remove you from the track. You will get sent to the pits until your internet connection improves. I wonder if Noah Belleville is on that sort of warning, if you will. Bren Roberts, on the other hand, is in the pits. He got a black flag, possibly for speeding on the way in. Chuck Sweeting's back onto the racetrack. He's, what, 4 laps off the pace, if I'm reading that right? 6 laps off the pace. Well, Chucky, time to dig yourself out. Let's see what happens. Kevin Feemster just went green, 29.86. The Van Buren pilot ran his personal best. In second, Noah Belleville has Toby Estes less than half a second behind him. Tom Sears has Jason Alexander at his home track, trying to make his way into the top 4. Let's catch a ride with Jaco, as he almost goes for a ride out of 2. 18 of Tom Sears. He runs in 4th, up 5 places from where he started. Aiden Norman, half a second ahead of Noah Belleville. Toby Estes in 3rd, and Norman not really running away with it as you would have expected, at least in the last run. Norman ran out to a lead of greater than 2 seconds. We'll see what Belleville puts together. 3/10 the difference, and despite the 41 not even appearing on my screen, he gets closer to car 62. If you care about the NBA West Conference, in Game 6, Spurs are leading OKC 37-27 with 10 minutes left in the second. And the Knicks are going to the finals. That's crazy. I do not know much about basketball, but what I have seen is that the Knicks are going to play the winner of Spurs Thunder. And that, OKC could book their ticket tonight if they win against San Antonio. And a Thunder Knicks NBA Finals would be pretty special to see. Anyway, if you care about basketball, put it in the chat. If you don't care about basketball, put it in the chat. Noah Belleville, Toby Estes, 2nd and 3rd. That remains the same, as does Aiden Norman at the front. And really, the difference now is kind of staggering, where drivers were really going at each other, trying to fight for position. The caution came out, and now everybody's decided to chill. And I don't know if they're just saving their tires because the tire wear is so great, they really need to extend the... I have no idea. In any case, 4/10 is all that remains between Norman in the 6-2, Belleville in the 41, and the Target Chevrolet creeps up closer to car 62. Let's go on board with Aiden. Four-tenths from Toby Estes to Noah Belleville, but Aiden Norman has real company. Belleville's there, and he wants the lead back. 75 laps to go at Darlington. And we're 13 laps from halfway. You saw Noah Belleville get into the wall just a bit. Aiden Norman on the lap prior to that. You heard him lifting out of turn number 2, which really invited Noah Belleville to his back bumper. Now drivers start to get closer. Jason Alexander in the 5. Jason Alexander in 5th. Kevin Feemster in 6th. Couple of Fords going at it. Matter of fact, the only Fords in the field going at it.
It's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity.
And Mauro just subscribed, rooting for the 41 and the 18. Shout out Noah Belleville and Tom Sears in the Interstate Battery Chevrolet. 1.8 seconds off the top 3. Meanwhile, Kevin Feemster chasing down the 53 of Jason Alexander. The Coors Ford almost goes for a spill. He gets way out of the way of Kevin Feemster. Let's have a look and see what was that about. He just got loose out of the corner. Let's try again. Oh, yeah. Better than wrecking the car, but you saw him just trying to almost overcorrect a bit. Let's see if we can see what his hands look like in there. The track's incredibly hot, and it takes a lot of concentration to hold on to it when you're in the sim. So Kevin Feemster moves into 5th. Noah Belleville is half a second in front of Toby Estes, and that gap is shrinking. Aiden Norman has sailed away, relatively speaking. It's a 1 second gap now from 1.25 seconds as we're talking about it now. And Toby Estes creeps up to car 41. Let's go on board with the Estes Property Care Chevy. Coming up July, at a track yet to be determined, ARC's Race of Champions 6, and we're changing it up again. If you've never seen A-Rock before, as we like to call it, imagine the iRock series with the Thunderbirds, I'm sorry, what the hell am I talking about? With the Trans Ams, with the Firebirds and the Trans Ams. Imagine that. And the Dodge Stealth and the Camaro, and didn't they run Porsche 911s as well? I think at some point, I have no idea. But think of that, except with the Audi 90 GTO, because that's one car we want to run in iRacing is the Audi 90 GTO. So we're going to do that. We're going to do 6 races with the Audi 90 GTO at ovals, at road courses, and it's going to be as close as we can get to the International Race of Champions, because why not? Why not let your imagination run wild? So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to let our imaginations take this one. And we're going to have a bunch of Audi 90 GTOs. They're all going to be dressed exactly the same with everybody's name on the side. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out the YouTube channel. There's going to be a playlist section, and you're going to find A-Rock 1 through 5 documented there in terrible quality for your enjoyment. Check it out. It'll come back July. We're going to see a lot of these guys here. I know Noah Belleville's going to be there. I know Aiden Norman's going to be there. Hopefully we see Toby Estes, Briley right there as well. A lot of these guys that are Thursday Night Thunder regulars, they're going to be filling these seats because we want to showcase our Thursday night drivers. Just something a little bit different. If you've seen Mazda Monday, if you've seen Bandit GT3, it's going to be that, but a bit more serious. The racing's actually going to be serious. We're not just going to throw cautions when one driver decides to get 9 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. So we're going to have fun with it too. Don't you worry. That's coming up in July. Jason Alexander decides to come in, by the way. He last came out on, lap 35. So he's going to bring it in on 61. So about 30 laps. And maybe the time... There goes Jason Alexander, who crashes in the pits. What just happened to Jayco? Did he just miss his pit entirely and wreck the race car? Have a listen. And he jumps to the pits right after that. I have no idea, but there goes Jason Alexander. It changes nothing about the rest of this race. Toby Estes is within 1 second to Noah Belleville. Drivers last pitted on lap 35. The Drip Diecast and Collectibles track facts will tell you drivers are expected to go probably 40 laps, 50 laps on fuel, somewhere around that. Toby Estes trying to get around Noah Belleville. You might see the running order change because Noah's internet connection is coming in and out, and that's what's causing the 41 to blink on our screens. Now, Susan Rice says that she had moved a curtain and she'd gotten a better signal, While that's fantastic for Susan, I don't think that's the case for our dear Noah. Season 12 champion or not, the internet continues to plague Car 41. Maybe an improvement in Season 13. Toby Estes on the podium and trying to stay ahead of his friend Briley in the points standings. That's another driver that got loose out of turn number 4. Jason Alexander did it before. It happened to Bren Roberts as well. Bren decided 38 laps was going to be enough for him. And that was a DNF for him. Let's go back to Bren and show what happened to car 84. This is Bren all by his lonesome 3 laps after the restart. On the subsequent lap, Bren comes into the pits, moving at the speed of light, and he gets a speeding penalty on his way into the pits, and he decides, well, that's enough. Meanwhile, for those that remain in our season finale, Toby Estes runs in 3rd. Noah Belleville has been sent to the pits. The internet connection has become too much. Car 41 has been temporarily removed from the racetrack, and he's just not being scored anymore. Dale Markowski is on his way into the pits. His internet connection is stable. We can see him gliding his way to his stall. The Ohio pilot has some damage on the right front end of his race car, but possibly he's just coming down to get better tires. Kevin Feemster will now take over the 4th position. So Aiden Norman has a 4-second gap to Toby Estes, who runs in that 2nd position. Tom Sears is in 3rd. Kevin Feemster runs in 4th. Brent Roberts, Briley Wright, Jason Alexander out. Chuck Sweeting continues to run 6 laps off the pace. And Noah Belleville now 2 laps off the pace, and Belleville is back out on the racetrack. Okay, so car 41 back in it. His internet connection must have improved. Here he comes out in front of Aiden Norman, and they avoid making a collision. 69 laps underway of the scheduled 125. We're past the halfway mark, and it's 56 to go, if my math is right, which it never is. Matt House talking about A-Rock 6 sounds entertaining. It absolutely will be. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Imagine a spec series. It will be a spec series. Everybody drives the same car. All the cars will be exactly the same paint scheme. The difference is going to be they're all going to be individual colors. And who knows? We did some testing in the car earlier. We were going to run it at dirt tracks. Like, we did test it at Eldora, but the problem is whenever you turn the car into the corner, it's almost as if the car would dip into the racetrack and hook into the dirt and then start barrel rolling into turn number 1, which in itself is hilarious. The problem is you can't complete a race if everybody's going to barrel roll 2-3 laps into a run. So we might have to do some more testing. I mean, we've got more than a month and a half to put this together. Once again, shout out to March Mauto, who subscribed with Prime. If you have Prime and you like what I do here, you can go ahead and subscribe as well. It's not going to cost you anything. If you have Prime, you do get a free Twitch subscription. So get on there on Twitch. If you like sim racing, if you want to watch more TNT. Noah Belleville's family, they're watching, night in, night out. Shout out Grandma Jeannie, by the way, who's been a fan of Noah Belleville since day 1 and in here every single week rooting for Moldy Muskrat, for those that know. 1st, 6th, last place, it doesn't matter. They're here rooting for Noah. The internet continues to go in and out for the 41 car. Aiden Norman leads Toby Estes by 5 seconds. The drivers are now going to that 40-lap mark here on fuel. And Aiden Norman managing the tires better than anyone else because a 5.5-second gap to Toby Estes season finale or not, Aiden's going to give it his all. He's going to get that 8th win, continue to chisel his name in the record books, and this is probably Aiden chiseling his flag in the ground now. He's putting his stamp now that he wants season 13. Of course, from now to August, anything can change, but my understanding right now is that he's going to get himself into season 13, and he's going to go for that 4th championship. But of course, the only guy that's going to stop him is this driver right here, Noah Belleville. He's going to come into the pits. For now, his internet remains stable, and the season 12 champion. That's right, if you don't know, now you do. He did clinch season 12 starting the race tonight. It's his 2nd overall championship, and he can go into season 13 with the goal to equal Aiden Norman for most TNT titles. The Missouri pilot comes to a halt, while the North Carolinian, by way of Seoul, South Korea, finds himself leading this race with a wiggle out of turn number 2. Tom Sears has moved into the 3rd position. All of the top 3 last pitting on lap 34. Kevin Feemster, on the other hand, pitting on lap 70. So he elected to go 35 laps after pitting. Maybe that's the sweet spot for the tires. Quick math will tell you that Kevin will then pit on lap 105. For the top 3, they've gone beyond 40 laps. It looks like they're trying to stretch the fuel as far as it will go while saving the tires. So, assuming that Norman, Estes, and Sears, the top 3, all pit, this driver here, Van Buren, Indiana's Kevin Feemster, will be your new leader. But of course, I've been wrong before. I'm probably wrong now. We're inside the final 50. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. One caution to speak of. Briley Wright was upended by Chuck Sweeting in the 57 car. Let's have a look. And fantastically, Briley comes to a screeching halt, and nobody hits him. Three laps after the race restarted, Bren Roberts goes for a spill. Bren Roberts does a fantastic job of keeping the car out of any harm, just a tiny scrape against the wall. But then Bren comes into the pits just a bit too fast, and car 84 gets caught for speeding. Bren decides he's going to park it, and that's the end of his race. Jason Alexander, he wrecked in the pits. Check this one out. Or is this out of turn 4? No, this is him almost wrecking the car out of turn number 4. And have a listen. This is Jayco in the pits, still trying to figure out what happened here. I'm not sure if he drove through too many pits. He panicked and overcorrected, and then he wrecked the race car, so that was the end of Jayco's race as well. Noah Belleville. Has he also thrown in the towel? He has. Belleville is out of this race, and the internet has just given up for car 41, so that leaves 6 pilots out on the racetrack. Aiden Norman leading, and well, that's all she wrote. And I'll tell you what, of all the races for the internet to give out for Noah Belleville, at least it's this one. At least it's this race here where he's already got the championship locked. You know, Norman decides he's going to come in on lap 82, almost to that 50-lap mark. So car 62 is going to come in for tires. Toby Estes will do the same. Tom Sears will stay out. The Southampton, Massachusetts pilot is your new leader at Darlington. quickly approaching the final 40 laps of competition. Kevin Feemster will stay one lap down, but he's going to move into the second position if he can beat Aiden Norman out of the pits. Norman back onto the racetrack, but with cold tires. Kevin Feemster on very hot tires and moving at speed. Norman finally re-enters the racetrack. He will beat Kevin Feemster to turn number 3. More importantly, Aiden Norman will stay on the lead lap. That's how fast he's moving. He had an 8-second lead ahead of Toby Estes when the pit cycle started. He now finds himself 10 seconds ahead of Toby Estes. Kevin Feemster pitted 12 laps prior to Toby, and Kevin finds himself in third. Southampton pilot Tom Sears, he's in. Turn down for what racing in the house? Thank you so much. I am most certainly not the GOAT, but I appreciate the vote of confidence. Thank you kindly. Thank you so much. Aiden Norman, new leader at Darlington with 41 laps remaining, and he just ran his fastest lap, 29.3 seconds. It is the fastest lap of the race. The final 4-0. Norman with firm control in the rest of this one. Kevin Feemster runs in second. Tom Sears has been given a black flag. Was it an unsafe exit? Can we have a look? He's going to have to serve this one. Aiden Norman goes fastest again, 29.29. Let's have a look at car 18 leaving the pits. Remember, he has to stay underneath a line. He's crossed it. Did he have to stay underneath that yellow line on the way out of the pits? Did he cross the blue line prematurely? That might have been it. That might have been the violation. So Sears is given the black flag, and he's going to have to come into the pits. Dale Markowski is going to move up to the 4th position, and despite Dale being 12 seconds off the back of Toby Estes, Dale has a chance, genuinely, if something happens to any of the top 3, Dale could end up on the podium. Now, Toby's now moved into the 2nd position because Kevin Feemster has come in on lap 88. Kevin's trying to go to the end on this on this cycle. Now, if Kevin can put his foot down and beat Toby to the line by the end of this cycle, Kevin Feemster is aiming for a 2nd place finish. And it could happen, but genuinely, Kevin's got to be fantastic on the pits. He's got to make no mistakes. Kevin is good to go to the end of this one. Toby Estes, Aiden Norman, they can also make it to the end on fuel. But Kevin Feemster is going to have tires that are 7 laps more fresh than theirs. Is those 7 laps going to be enough of a difference, though? 12 seconds, the gap from Aiden Norman back to Toby Estes, and this is the kind of competition that you face when Aiden Norman is out on the racetrack. And obvious question, well, why is he not winning the championship? Because he didn't run the whole season. Grandma Jeannie tuning in and saying, what happened to Noah? Well, Grandma Jeannie, the internet happened to Noah. Your grandson's internet connection couldn't hold out. Noah was removed twice from the racetrack, and he's just decided that that's enough for him. He's already got the Season 12 championship, and he didn't want to finish this one out. You have a word with your grandson and tell him to come back and finish this race. We love you, Grandma Jeannie. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Turn Down for What Racing as well. Genuinely, I broadcasted a ton of races for them as well. Just shout out to Mike Campbell. Shout out to everybody there. Shout out to God, all the names escape me because I'm thinking of all the Xbox gamer tags and not what these people are actually called. That's how long we've been racing as colleagues, as friends. Just since we've been calling each other, you know, Papa Bear Campbell and Yotes King and Nate Lehman and everybody else that has anything to do with Turn Down for What. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can you imagine if we all still went around calling each other our Xbox gamer tags? The cringe would be off the charts. I can feel it now. So we're approaching the final 30. Aiden Norman has made this the most boring race in the history of creation because once again, he is fantastic at what he does. Can you imagine if he comes back for season 13, he keeps that distance on Noah Belleville? Because if nobody stops that 41 car, Noah Belleville could get that third championship by the end of season 13. One guy that could stop him, this fella right here. You can teach an old dog new tricks, and the old dog can learn you a couple new tricks as well. Chuck Sweeting has really taken everybody by surprise, winning his first Thursday Night Thunder race at Charlotte, by the way, with a last lap pass over that three-time champion, Aiden Norman. Chuck got that first win, and the floodgates opened for car 57. It's been nothing but consistent podiums for the Chuckster, and he will come back in season 13, going for that Thursday Night Thunder championship. And of course not. Of course he will. Why not? The talent is there. The consistency is also there. 30 laps to go as you see it on your timing tower. We may have a new formula in season 13. The car might change. We have a lot to discuss, to work, to make sure that our drivers are going to be happy with the formula. By the way, shout out Dale Markowski. We don't talk about Dale enough, but this guy right here, he's put in plenty of time in TNT. Larry Eberhard in the chat. What's going on, Big Larry? Speaking of TNT veterans, Larry Eberhard ran plenty of races in Season 10. Season 11, Larry, I think we saw you there as well. We missed you a lot in Season 12. Larry, we are coming back for Season 13. We need you, Larry. We miss you, Larry. So shout out Larry Eberhard. If you go back through the TNT archives in Season 10 and 11, you're going to see that Washington Commanders car a lot. Larry was another consistent driver. Larry, we're talking about you too. Chuck Sweeting. In that 5-7, Larry, he picked up his first Thursday Night Thunder win. He's a consistent podium finisher now. It's been a fantastic climb for Chuck, and when season 13 comes around, it's going to be really special. Anyway, this whole tangent started with Dale Markowski, who runs 29th in the points, but don't let that fool you. Dale has an average start of 8th and an average finish of 12th. And he's right now trying to have an average finish of crashing as he almost wrecks out of turn number 4. Currently running in third. Light field tonight for the season finale. And kind of the reason why we don't run in the summer months. Dale's in nevertheless. Car 33 brings it down. So Tom Sears, he's now going to move into the third position. Marshmallow in the chat saying that 62 is quick. Yeah. Yes, he is. Speaking of season 13, for the day ones, for the day one fans, if you guys remember season 2 of Thursday Night Thunder, Marsh was there. Marsh has spoken interest about racing in season 13. We'll make that happen. Come late August, when we kick off that 13th campaign, imagine that we have 3-time champion Aiden Norman, 2-time champions Tom Sears and now Noah Belleville, our season 2 champion Marshmallow, our season 4 champion Tom Sears will be there. All we're missing is Jacob Bradley, seasons 10 and 11. Can't forget Jacob Prince, who won season 8. Aiden Norman taking care of 5, 6, and 7. That 62 is quick indeed. 3 championships on the trot, and after season 7, Aiden said, you know what? I'm good. That's it. Aiden started in TNT in season 13, just kind of, you know what? We'll take it one race at a time. We'll take it one race at a time. And it really was that attitude, one race at a time. Then the wins started to come through. And it was another win at a time. And maybe another win at a time. Noah Belleville faced that competition on the way to this championship, but not without the uncertainty that Aiden Norman might take that championship away. There was an actual scare. Tonight, Belleville clinches that championship. Aiden Norman looking to come home with his 8th win this season out of the 14 races that we've run. And you just think, what if this had been a full-time season? Would that be a 4th championship? Would it be 4 titles to Noah Belleville's 1 title, his only title? Now Belleville has 2. Aiden Norman 3, Noah Belleville 2. Going into season 13, is the score going to be tied? Does Aiden make it 4-2? By Christmas 2026, we're going to answer these questions, but we got to go through a lot of races to get there first, and a long summer of doing nothing. Because, God, am I tired. We've been doing this since what, February? It's been a long season 12. It really has. And normally we start earlier in the season as well. So I know we're running into the summer months just a bit later than what I expected. But we did start the week of the Daytona 500. And we've continued moving along since. And it's all led to this. Aiden Norman and Chuck Sweeting doing battle, not for position, but you want to talk about resilience? This guy right here. Wait for him in the next season. He will be a championship contender. Let's ride on board with the Chuckster. Got to give a shout out to the folks over at Drip Diecast. They have kept us going for all 12 seasons and counting. Shout out to the folks at Drip Diecast and Collectibles. If you need to get some NASCAR diecast, check them out on eBay. They do live auctions on Whatnot as well. eBay, Whatnot, Drip Diecast and Collectibles. They are your #1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. Check them out on eBay and Whatnot and get yourself a piece of NASCAR history. I've picked up several diecasts on their live auctions, and it's actually a lot of fun to see what kind of collectible pieces that you might find out there as well. But check them out. They support us, and even if you're not going to buy anything, just check out their store. See if you might buy something for someone you love, someone you don't love. It doesn't matter. They support us. Check out their website. Support them as well. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your #1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. We've got action on the track and contact on the track. 17 and 18 side by side. Tom Sears is in the wall. Will he get back at Kevin Feemster? How about that for a bit more than a slide job on car 18? What does Tom Sears have in mind? Feemster scrapes the wall. Tom Sears could get a run on the 17, but he just can't make it stick. Lucky number 13 laps to go. Kevin Feemster pitted on lap 87. Tom Sears pitted on lap 84. 3 laps the difference between their tires and the fast approaching race leader Aiden Norman, trying to put them both 2 laps off the pace. Feemster trying to get that podium. Indiana versus Massachusetts for the 3rd position. And with 12 laps to go, season 12 is going to have some fireworks to speak of. Chuck Sweeting racing for pride. Now to the inside of Aiden Norman. Maybe he can pull this one off. 7 laps down or not, if Chuck Sweeting wants to race you, you will race him. And he's going to race you clean. And he's going to race you very, very tough. Sweeting makes light work of car 62 and the Hawthorne native. Gets one of those laps back. And if that's not a precursor for season 13, I don't know what is. Sweeting's picking off the champions one by one. Now he wants a piece of the 2-time champion, Tom Sears. Will he make light work of the 18 car? He does indeed. Again, not for position, but the floodgates have opened. And the warning shot has been fired. That win at Charlotte was no fluke. Chuck Sweeting is here. Chuck Sweeting is for real. Watch out. And the 62 of Aiden Norman puts Tom Sears a 2nd lap down, and Kevin Feemster has rocketed ahead 2.25 seconds. Now the difference between Kev and Tom, 3rd and 4th. 8 laps to go this time by. Toby Estes in a world of his own. Dale Markowski also surviving this one as well, and Darlington is not for the faint of heart. We did start with a light field, but lots of drivers just deciding to throw in the towel after wrecking their race cars one way or the other. But we will see them. Definitely see them in season 13. We will see Bren. We will have Briley. We will have Jason Alexander, and I certainly hope we're going to have Noah Belleville in our next campaign of Thursday Night Thunder. Six to go next time by. And it is a scarcely believable 12 seconds from the 62 of Aiden Norman to the 8 of Toby Estes. And when you consider that this is a 30-second lap, that is almost half a lap. There's Aiden right there, crossing the start-finish line now when Toby Estes is halfway through 3 and 4. So, yeah, it is almost half a lap. That is not a small margin. Visually speaking, it's quite the gap. And for those of you that care, Spurs are ahead of the Thunder 60-53. If San Antonio holds on to that lead and wins, they're going to go to a Game 7. Imagine the Knicks in the finals against San Antonio and Wemby. I mentioned it before. I don't watch the NBA. I really don't, but still, knowing that the Knicks are in the finals, just seeing the vibe, how excited everybody is, you kind of want to pay attention. It looks cool. There's your respective gap. Tom Sears, our hardest charger of the race thus far, up 5 places from where he started. Toby Estes up 4 places from where he started. Aiden Norman has only climbed one place, and it's the only place that matters. Over the last 5 laps, Kevin Feemster has not been able to... Well, I should say Tom Sears has not been able to reel in Kevin Feemster. Dale Markowski also decides he's going to come in. Is he going to finish this race? Is he out of fuel? Oh, Dale's wiggling all the way to the end. He might have miscalculated, and he might just be out of gas. But at the same time, Dale could have just gone for broke as well. Although a 5th place finish is going to be really, really good for his average finish if he can stay out and not lose so many laps that Chuck Sweeting won't pass him on the track and gain more points. Kevin Feemster also racing for pride. He wants to stay just 1 lap down after the dominance that Aiden Norman has shown tonight. 2 laps to go. 2.5 miles is what's left. Aiden Norman sits behind Feemster. White flag is out. It will be an 8th victory for Aiden Norman if he can make it the next 1.3 miles without crashing. He will put Kevin Feemster that 2nd lap down, the Van Buren, Indiana pilot. He sits in 3rd, 2.5 seconds ahead of Tom Sears and Toby Estes. Gaining a bit on Aiden Norman, but certainly not enough to make a difference. What a way to end season 12, an 8th victory for Aiden Norman, and he goes out of 12 and into 13, hopefully a winner, but certainly with winning intentions. Aiden Norman with his 8th win this season. He ends season 12 with a huge statement and possibly a warning to the competition. Toby Estes comes home 2nd. How about Van Buren's Kevin Feemster? He gets a bronze medal for everybody back home in the Hoosier State. Tom Sears 4th, Dale Markowski 5th, Chuck Sweeting in 6th, Noah Belleville 7th, Jason Alexander 8th, Briley Wright 9th, and Bren Roberts rounds out the top and only 10 drivers in this race. The celebrations have begun. Noah Belleville, your season 12 champion, not here to celebrate. His internet connection did not hold out, and he just wouldn't make it to the end of this one. Noah, well, and Aiden's going to destroy the car in celebration as it's his last race, and go right ahead. Aiden has destroyed the back bumper so much that it's now flying in and out of the safer barrier. Yeah, it just wouldn't be a Rick James TV broadcast if something ridiculous didn't happen, and this is pretty ridiculous. So we're going to let Aiden beat his car to a pulp in celebration, and we'll grab the final top 3 of Season 12. on the podium with our top three for, well, the final podium of the season. Let's start with our bronze medalist. Welcome back to the podium, Van Buren, Indiana's Kevin Feemster. Feem, not a bad way to send out season 12.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy for the guys that showed up and raced tonight. I'll take a P3. It's been a minute since I've been on podium in TNT, so yeah, just happy with it. Wasn't the funnest race, but we made it through it.
We made it through a difficult season 12, and season 13 is, what, about 3 months away. So we get a very, very long break before we have to do any of this again. Let's have a quick refresh of the points real quick while we're here, because you were top 15, I think, coming into this race, and because of the light field, you're going to jump up in points. Yeah, unofficially, Feemster, you're going to finish 13th in points. Congratulations on third, man.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Let's go to Greensburg, Kentucky's Toby Estes, silver medalist tonight. You beat out your neighbor Briley, man. You guys were really battling there for a good few laps.
Yeah, I think he just overdrove his stuff and kind of cooked his stuff, and then didn't have any fun after that. It was just kind of I don't know. It was a weird race. So I had to drive 3 and 4 with this car like I've never drove any other vehicle at Darlington, and I'm sweating. It was just a handful.
Well, the handful's over. You can rest now. And unofficially, Tobias, you're going to finish 6th in the points with 452 chips all to yourself, man. Thank you so much for your time this season. Thank you for your applications, man. And I'm sure we're going to see you throughout the summer. And I can't wait to see you in season 13.
Yep, appreciate it, brother.
All right, let's talk to the man who makes every race incredibly boring because he is the fastest driver that anybody has ever seen. Aiden Norman, unofficially, you will finish 19 points behind Noah Belleville in the second position with 8 wins in season 12.
Yeah, that tracks. Of course, he would finally lag out of the race with the least amount of cars all season, but you know, it is what it is.
Despite all this that happened, again, it was another awesome race. Watching your donuts of destruction with your rear bumper flying in and out of the safer barrier. But 8 wins in a season is nothing to turn your nose up now. So now Noah Belleville in season 13, assuming he comes back, is going to try and match your all-time championships record with 3. Are you going to come back in season 13 to try and stop him?
I mean, it depends. My burnout here was kind of just a protest to this car because I want it to be burned and never to see the light of day ever again. But if changes aren't made, then I'm probably not coming back because it's just not really that fun. I mean, I've heard rumors that changes are being discussed, so I'm not saying obviously I'm not coming back. I'm just saying if it's this car, probably not. But at the same time, I finished 19 points behind Noah, and I missed the first 2 races of the season. So I don't think if we both run a full season, he'll be able to keep up, personally.
I'll be sure to tell him that. And Grandma Jeannie. And Susan Rice. You're going to have the whole Belleville clan coming after you. Would it make any difference if I told you June White was coming back?
No. Not unless it's a different car.
Marshmallow in the chat saying maybe a season 13 appearance. Anyway, lots to discuss, man. It's a long off season, but let's put this one to bed. Marshmallow's in the chat now, probably talking all kinds of garbage. No, I'm joking. I'm screwing around. There's a lot to discuss. We'll see what happens. But what a season it's been. To Kevin, to Toby, to Aiden, to anybody that has anything to ever do with TNT, thank you so much, because without your applications, without your efforts, we could not be here after 12 seasons of racing. At the end of the day, it is it is just a silly little game that we do love to play. But this simulator that we spend so much time and so much effort and money on really does become community. And we're going to keep on riding this until the wheels fall off. So this has been a fantastic Season 12, despite its challenges with this car. Season 13 might bring changes. Stay tuned. We'll talk about it on Rick James TV TikTok. We got the Instagram. We got the Twitter as well. X now? Check us out. Stay tuned. Send us a DM. Say hi every once in a while. I'm not a stranger. Don't be a stranger yourself. So let's put this one to bed. And Aiden, any last thoughts on Season 12 about how you really feel about this car? It really is a piece of garbage, ain't it?
Yeah, I think
You know what?
whoever
Actually,
decided to
I
give-
should not have invited that. Really should not have invited that. We'll just go ahead and put this one to bed. Until that next race this July, everybody stay safe, take care of each other, and we will see you all